TV Oborabu Bwagusi
Biasano mwanchomo ligelia weta TV unatwachika uko manyabuli tangani na andi nairanire asinkwana yabene maragoba ya lero mabona manga mwanyaraka omukuboli anamonigorie kiama kia United Progressive Alliance na kekora twa muligirie omolikio monene we kiama kyo Mheshimiwa Barongo Bagaka nabo igoro mu MCA ward ya Masige West bunge wa Basie County ya Kisii aratorera sireka chinkana na mono emeroberie kiama kyo ikirabono iganereri kogera twarere bya masinsi ya Kenya bikonyara kwa bikweroberia twarere kiama kia Wiper actually mbanya tukaba ko chenchi elieta Mheshimiwa Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka asichia bischirichia registrar political parties ntwarere kiama kia DCP ntwaroche Martha Wangari Karua boigo gako rename gose ako chenchi elieta kiaye amo nebya mabinde binge bigenderete gocha igona kekogera to muligire Mheshimiwa Barongo Bagaka uitole nerega iga entire house tinyara ko batugo sanga sinchero yobwenga to manyimuna arabuni kiama gwikirabono igana kiemeroberiere magega yokorra ba coordinator babweta chinsikini babona iga how is the state nabo sanga mane to sensemo ya Facebook yakora nigo tore live una entire TV nabo ga sensemo ya YouTube nabo igo ase page yo Mheshimiwa Barongo Bagaka sensemo ya Facebook na TikTok nyara ko bago tomali boli dia on nyara ko batogo soma ase kagetali getambe nganchire mwali Mheshimiwa Bagaka Mheshimiwa karibu sana.
Asante sana. Beya mano asoko ndangaringata na irenga kisana ntarachi chagaiga muneri kiate abasa marita nguru Barongo Bagaka omo MCA ward ya Masige West omo deputy speaker Kisii County Assembly na boigo omo secretary wa chama ya UPA beronde gaiga in my capacity mne secretary general ya chama ya UPA agera tore mibange libitu abekire asenge nchujo we prepare asobo chole bane ba 2027.
Mheshimiwa, the last time to the interview aye nkwana mona ntukwanya tuko kwa remero belio lakini briefly estate ye kiama wadi yanga kire what's happening currently because ntoro chebi ama biko rename malieta binde biko unveiled. What is the current situation?
Number 1 ntebenga kiama kia United Progressive Alliance Party preceding the general election ya 2022 yakaruke PED. PED na kiama kia unchoreterieta kikaruku UPA kikagenda sobocholi asomaka o 2022. Ekere abanke moke maete ne kiama kia associated na Kenyo Geto Mheshimiwa Matiang'i na abanda abange bali bage chageti. Kiama kekere kia sobocholi mukanyira singa kielia omo waziri oyobono Alfredo Kengo Matiang'i igalenga samangana security. Abantu bake minja sana nga eremno mwaziri bwe security tatakire gutwara kiama ustatakire abasa mangana siasa ekagera akandova obonene gose obotene bwe kiama ochisomo sikenya libo uyuro mugabano nyamira boniga asenga kie yabairoro ekiama gikabage gochora aba musie bara bangase nyamira na bakubwatia somo baro bakabere se county ya Kisii tubatu mujumbo yomo kuruga iga Bonchari no mugabano nyamira amno babe twago chukura se kiame kiga ikengi kiame kerere yakorege igoretwe metinjista gochia sobo choliba 2022 kinga korabia mabiro bia bere miaka bitarachora bantu lakini kiga kaba kerere lakini kiga koribia sana sobo choliba ita goikira muna ekero Mheshimiwa Alfredo Kengo Matiang'i na nda orkiganga yaye yokuboli chikura ekiama nkere compliant ebiame biko regulated na ORPP Office of the Registrar of Political Parties. Chama ya UPA is a compliant party. Nebwati chyo tunachita keire bokolere nkonyora chibesa asichibesa chichiwa kona se biama ebiama bire Kenya bire 91 lakini biama biko nyocha chibesa bire around 25 to 26 UPA no ere top 20 se biama biko nyocha chibesa cha serikali gokero mwaka chama ya UPA ngwaka no chibesa na serikali asengenjo ebwata abantu ya chorte ne chikura akere biama abantu wange mbamaiti ekiama akere ya chorira abantu nabo gutwara mu barabo chikura chiagetwe ekina kiye kogera kiagutibesa bona kere gose abantu babo chikandi chia boti chance pichikura umu barabo chikura chiria nabo bari bayirite birogo onye kwerete fakam na ncheka nete chikura nange kijana chibesa chigwa kano chame chiri chinyinge kero kocho orukole kijana gosoro musubati ne kare chigwa kano banta baka waida na jinkwa kanjire kiro monto cholire ebesa nere kubeko chore form nere gotumeka ekare bya mebya nyora chibesa byo Quran wakana chirent wakana wafanyikazi bako lese byama ne bintu binde igonte besa yi chama ya UPA iko imara kabisa nebwate chiobisi asa matukale mutu morole headquarters ya Itenya yeko iguru Nairobi Alitome State mororo obisi ya Mombasa ya elire kaite nko igurure wiki goche gose wiki korunse obisi nerere Busia nko igurure nechi obisi kindi chinyinga of course tubwata obisi ga Kisii nerere Migori nerere Kericho nerere Narok. Most of the offices are being finalized as in joko igurwa uko igurwa ko chi obisi konyentu abati obisi chenge chinke okonyo mo bwateri bagalisi nini batia sama tukalire emetinyalire bere abantu abange borokiri umungusogo cyase chama ya UPA yagalire twanyore paka donors bali bakonyara gotokonya ase njoko ya chobisi. So the level of office moja kora chiko iguru na Mombasa office ko iguru ne building ngima egoro bengime ko iguru Mombasa egali town ase chama ya UPA. Ogenda Nairobi is a whole acre of land ebwate parking ebwate secretariat abacho kora mangana yo kora asa mangana yo kulikia abantu nabaga sai ebe obocho bora chemoto ige chama mbuyere abantu bayilikira abange anya tore lika bona bye kotigarta ba abantu abange bone bale echama ya UPA ngagete siko anda sumwaro banyanga tobera abantu abange sana
ya sana mweshimwe ntwara raba coordinator bakwenda kwale bonchali ga county ya Kisii nechi county chinde bakonyara kwa bago amasisha abantu belikine kiama kya UPA currently twarire bago kirake is it that inge moichuri abantu bali mwaganeti gose what's going on
bagenderete but what we have done etua chakrite kire kiama abantu ku batanga o echame gose ridandira bakonyoka nga gose village party. There is no chama abenga mnaikira kwa bro no bwata sei no na ko bosongo gai kire chama ne bwata rusese rote kuru bono eviame binge bire Kenya
tega singe nchobale ko rekana concentrate
etigaiga bona kia tu igorire awo enda bono Narok nagote obisnere ko guru Narok na sana ogenda Narok East ogenda Narok West krase malia by gore chi obis kirgold no balinge moisonde. So within Kisii enga ngatu amachiri ko iwana tumaite kiama tumaite morai mate bia mabiwache presidential candidate boni ganga geto sembe bere bioka bitato bano biekire ekora no nyeto tebe kiama ke bwate presidential candidate manyakanete ekiama getangani UPA okoro Fredo Kengo Matiang'i kiama gya kabere UDA ke bwate monto kuruku William Ruto ekiama gya gatatu ni gya Kalonzo Musyoka ne kiama gya kane DCP but DCP te bwate presidential candidate e bwate party leader kuruku gashawa ogoto support na de gwaze seme itoke kogera ere kulingana na sheria taito kuboli chikura. Yes,
because abantu abange gaigali boli bakobole mweshimwe karabata yanga kiama kya UPA na ke bwate presidential candidate. Are you saying Matiang'i is going to vie under UPA?
Bueno, motoraro go doubt umate ngo janara sekara abantu baito na karanko romonta go tware na doubt.
The reason as to why bago tware doubt because ntwaro cho molikiwe kiama kia Jubilee Jeremiah Kioni kawe associate na Matiang'i tware bikaraba kora that's why bataite kumanya kuro so molikiwe kiama keiga. Should there be doubt?
I want to say it and I've said this several times. Umweshimwe Fredo Kengo Matiang'i otwaro mungu sochese byame binge sana ebinge bine motana koiwa pantete kura kwa no mbitano byoka PNU twa takakoganda Meru recently asinge nchiyo koganda ko wate sia yo mento gali Peter Munya ekere mwaro chipaka chipiri port chiabegetu Matiang'i no mosike Peter Munya ne chama ya PNU it means a candidate ya PNU Fredo Kengo Matiang'i ekiama kiomo gavana mukuru na ndawe rumo waziri oyo basi
abate candidate ya PNU kumaanisha bawo chikumo support but
yes bono ebine kreto ko ganda PNU boni ga nek yabo ya PNU ya etiri mbamanyete a presidential candidate yabo gakuru Fredo Kengo Matiang'i as PNU ogende kiama gya kreto murungi uriyo kiama gya gebwate basi muna ekimanyerero e candidate yabo gakuru Fredo Kengo Matiang'i ogende Jubilee baoro kiringa batagete ko gwakina mweshimwe Fredo Kengo Matiang'i UPA is working no mweshimwe Fredo Kengo Matiang'i but ebyame byonsi ebichakolose coalition pati kiama ge propose ekere ko ganwa any discussion ne kiama kya UPA lakini it will not vie on one party matendo batendo ko kan united opposition ndeta abantu baranda tenente kebya we have a united opposition igebwa tabarai bali bonse mumanyete umweshimwe Fredo Kengo Matiang'i no ale umweshimwe Rigathi Gachagua no ale umweshimwe Kalonzo Musyoka no ale Eugene Wamalwa no ale na banda abange baka DP no akorte no ere natembea no ale gago natembea bona kama ndabago chikumu trabate package yayo usikule umweshimwe Rigathi Gachagua DCP you can see is working na mundo wa western angakaro komo yoborti bagaba na yokore getabu Kikarente shida sana.
Oyo linge mo likinga umugachi.
Umuriki mono UDA.
Yes.
Oyo genda bono DCP Kilovas Malala.
Yes.
You can see that is his team. Asugura tori United opposition na boku manye team yae. Babo Senator Metu abuna abantu bale nere. Kuko jase team ya itomo ino gai intu. On this side ya Fred Okengo Matiang'i, Peter Munya, the governor Natembea, Oche Ndindi Nyoro, Onyole mo subata nara yo kure ndoge Tunguri na Mheshimiwa Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Ene team ya Matiang'i. So United opposition mbabu atechi team. But at the end of the day toma ikomena na sempre raya eyamo. So sense ya Fred Okengo Matiang'i, unlike other candidates where waipa gocha erbe ko manyene intuga geto gocha ne team yabanta bonse pine bya mabiri bakorteki babwate krako ane negotiating table. He will go there with around 7 to 10 parties. There are around 25, but some of them are collapsing. So at the end of the day, he will face the other principles under United opposition. Kago chana abanta bonse bakumo support ba Peter Munya babondi Nyoro abanta bonse will come from his side. They will come to a time where what Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua batabanga, there will be a formula to be used to determine who will be a presidential candidate. And I can tell you that formula of course favors Mheshimiwa Fred Okengo Matiang'i.
Where do you say that? Because it was Mheshimiwa Gachagua kale United States kago teanga bwerurere kuba sikiama kia DCP mune presidential candidate. Yes.
Which is okay. Of course it's the party leader, and automatically most of the parties. Now, UPA constitution,
yes,
a party leader is almost an automatic candidate for that particular party. So, Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua is the party leader for DCP, and therefore the automatic presidential candidate. But we know there is something going on that might take impeachment that might bar him as a person to run as a presidential candidate, and he has said it. And as we wait for things to unfold, our expectation in Gelinga at the right time, as principles, they have given each other respect, mutual respect, as their principles. So the principle called Fred Okengo Matiang'i is coming to the table, Natembea Kalimagayaye, Ndindi Nyoro Kalimagayaye, Peter Munya Kalimagayaye, and they will sit at the table. Kiongozi kale motuga iga na bantabai bakorete bale magayaye. Then they will discuss. Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua will sit here with the team. Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka will sit here with the team. And they will look at the merits and the merits of anyone. At the end of the day, they will choose a presidential candidate. And they have agreed that whoever will be chosen through that formula, then will be able to face the ballot against Mheshimiwa William Ruto. Of course, you automatically looking at that formula, you will have to go home and surrender.
Yobono sana libo linde galigia sana bado tutekalita sekiama na linyorire abatanga Mheshimiwa Watero nanko igoro bali chiobisi lakini muboli mbabwate any party unveiling ere massive buna to DCP of course imbara unveil batimba nyara ko bako gesokia batanga mbacha baki unveil officially akobolinga mubwate any plans choko unveil kiama gosoko ko rebrand buya buna to rebya mabindi bigokora mainly maybe korwa headquarters.
It will be there. You will even be surprised. DCP opened one office at Ago. For us, we're opening all the regions, almost 5 regions on the same period. It will be around the same period. You will see the one for Narok, the one for Mombasa, the one for Nairobi, and the one for Kajiado being opened around the same time. And already the offices are almost 90% ready. They have already been rented out, all leased, all those ones which have been donated by donors have done so, and we are working on the last stages. We will of course get a lot of guidance from the presidential candidate, who is Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i, who is expected in the country this weekend. So once he gets back to the country, we will have other plans. But as I have said, just like many other parties, and we are very sure we are going to form government. Not UPA alone, but with other parties. Yes.
Ayo kubolinga mboli Mheshimiwa Bagaka, what if kiama kia UPA getake kutwara chinkwana ne byama binde kero kyoge support kiama kendeke nga? What is his take on that?
I've already said that no one single party has ever won an election historically in Kenya. Most parties will always combine effort with other parties. So we are saying, already as we are talking, we are in talks with Jubilee, we are in talks with the DP, we are in talks with the PNU and other parties. So we are open. And we continue discussions, and there's nothing wrong in joining hands with others, because currently the biggest problem with us as a country is that we are not united as a country. some people are more equal than others. We know the animal farming, and we are saying we want to move away from that and be in a place where everyone feels proud of their country and can be able to make a contribution. No Mheshimiwa Fred Okengo Matiang'i has shown the interest of uniting all Kenyans and any other party that wants to work with him. That's why you see, unlike so many other candidates, everyone is saying they want to work with him. Look at all the rest of the people who have shown the interest to run for president. How many parties are going for them? But even now you are confused which party is running on because there are too many that want to work with him. That shows that he's a person who has been accepted across the country and is willing to work with all the parties that are coming under him and also to work all Kenyans, regardless of the age, religion, or wherever you come from.
Amaboli abananchi angokiri sana nganchire nkoboli akara no bataete bayigukorwa so rena igo batanga twarorere Central Committee ekiama kiabu na ODM bakunyara kwa bagutwara mikutano na gukwana bune timu emo. What about UPA? Twarorere Mheshimiwa Bagaka kwa bavoko. Of course as SG natakera okora igora kinerwe kora se kia leadership, central leadership ekiama kia UPA.
ODM,
what
that's a good example. I want to talk to the person who has asked the question. Thank you very much for the question. ODM only meets the Central Committee when there's a crisis. They met recently when Sifuna was having an issue with the party. The other time they met is with the 10-point agenda. They always meet when they're going for handshakes and also meet wherever there is a crisis. For us, we meet so often. So you might not even notice because we don't wait for a crisis for us to meet. The first time we proposed Fred Okengo Matiang'i as a presidential candidate in our neck, we were the first party. I don't think there's any party that first believed in Matiang'i than his own party, the party of UPA. So we sit in this meeting so regularly that it's a norm to us. It's not like ODM which sits when there's a crisis. I think UD does not sit completely. They only take orders from the president. For us, we sit more often. Our NEC is comprised of 18 members drawn from across the country. Most probably it's because I come from this region. That's why people will feel maybe Chameiga, but what I'm saying is our treasurer comes from Narok County. Our other people come from the central. We have like Alice who comes from central, that's Kiambu, sits in the board. We have someone from Northeastern who sits in the central committee. So we have around 18 members who sit in the committee, and with time you'll be knowing them. And if I ask you today, the latest party to be launched is DCP. If I ask you how many people sit in the central committee, you don't know. I don't think even most people know the Secretary General. So most at the times, what happens once the candidate comes and starts running on the party, all of us concentrate on the presidential candidate. So with the time, I don't even have to speak. I'm just a secretary. Me ni clerk, mutu anaandika chini. I only write minutes. So my work is not basically, my work is to talk about the party, ensure that we do the right things, comply with ORPB and the law. But once we have the presidential candidates, once the unveiling is done properly, ikishafanywa, it's official, most of the people will be speaking will be the presidential candidate. My work will just be to ensuring that the documents are there. Ntu arora kere sifuna agenda galia. Even time because maybe the time might yako yakere Ruto bai karante bakaiwana na Raila. The secretary was told this is our discussion, and so this is how we want to structure our discussion called broad-based. Sometimes even they called it literally broad-based, bread-based, because it was not necessarily. These are party leaders who talk. Wherever they are talking, they come and maybe inform you, you put it into writing and bring it to the press. The things I say are not, most of the time, they're not even my things. They are things that I'm speaking on behalf of the party leader. So sometimes you might not even agree with the position of the party. Like Sifuna has done. He has said, even Tombiro Bindako Soma, Egata Soma Gelikia, Ruto, and Yeta Banajano, Secretary General, you being a Matin Kara and Chocolate, Ruto, and Jitingo Somanga, a correcting some. But even the Beyonce Biata Konakashagua, Akolena Kalonso Muzioka, Akonaban to take what a revelation. We read them.
Mheshimiwa, you saying you cannot, that is the only thing that you disagree.
I can't also read where you're saying maybe.
You are reading from the same script as phone.
That is it. We have a country to protect, we have a country to take forward. And the truth is, if you are in a country that does not value its citizens, you are in a country where a youth, a young person, who we are telling every day that the future belongs to you, and we are killing them now before their future comes, then we are in problems. So you cannot want to work with a government that has decided that the people who are supposed to have a future are not participating in that particular future. So because we have been growing, you are the future of this nation, you are the foundation of this nation. So we are wondering, if you kill them now, how will then be the future of that nation? And so we are saying, we have an alternative voice that is coming from Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i, and I think all Kenyans are impressed. Nenchera akore mekutana yaye. I know there are a few people complaining, Mheshimiwa Fred Okengo Matiang'i gale America. Those are Kenyans.
Actually, that was to be my next question. Nki wao kwa America bonus. Abande bale wote abayas comment section ngaba bwatane to America. And is it the only place where they campaign? Are they not campaigning?
They are not campaigning. In the US, they are not campaigning. They are only gotten Kenyans who live in the US. They are citizens for Kenya, but who live in diaspora. For a long time, we have had a discussion that we want every Kenyan to participate democratically because they have a right. This is their country. And for your information, discussion about economics and finance,
yes,
we will agree that a lot of remittances that come from outside that help us with foreign exchange or forex, the money comes from outside. Whatever they are paid, whenever they invest in that country, they send back their monies and they actually send that money back to the country. How can you not recognize such a big chunk of people who are helping us to grow our own economy? So we are recognizing them. And Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i and Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua have shown the interest to say you are participating in building our economy. We will be able to recognize them. Mheshimiwa Fred Okengo Matiang'i just said, he was the first person to say, if you are making a contribution, you want to participate in growing the economy of your own country. How can we be able to ensure that you also participate in growing whatever happens in your country? You make decisions about your country. We want to agree that in diaspora, they will be participating through nominations in the party. They will be participating through even, at some point, being nominated or being proposed to Parliament as ministers or chief officers or how do you call them, the permanent secretaries,
yes,
in the government that will be formed, because they have to participate. You cannot participate as Ogo Samara, as
a US ntwaro cho Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua could launch something like Wamunyoro, whatever that they call it. Apart from committee aba gusi gusaba aba Kenya bameyete outside Kenya, what else Mheshimiwa Matiang'i akoleta outside the country?
Because he did more than what you think he has not done.
Yes.
You saw him, he went to different states.
Yes.
He met Kenyans, not Kisses.
Yes, Kenyans.
He met Kenyans, he met Somali community. You saw even Rigathi Gachagua also meeting the Kisses who live there.
Yes.
Because the people who live there are not just one tribe. They are Kenyans. And that's why you saw them, wherever he was meeting different communities and talking to them. Yes. Number one, to give them confidence about their country. Yeah. Because currently, the population has lost confidence in the country. And the moment we lose confidence in our very own country, then there will be no future. So it was, first of all, giving them confidence. You saw people wanting to say, we want to vote for you. And they said, no, don't just vote for me. Vote for me and let me be accountable to you as citizens who have voted. Let me explain. Let me answer you back. And so what he has done, number one, is to bring confidence that yes, we can have faith in our own country. Let us not lose hope in our country, and let us fix the problem that we have. Because there are challenges we accept, but we have to tackle them. We cannot allow our country to go to the dogs. And therefore what he did, number one, he met the Kenyans, gave them confidence we can build a country that encompasses everyone. And number two, he also gave them an opportunity and asked them that do not fear to invest back at home. So there's a lot that we have done. Actually, because people were fearing to even send their money to Kenya because they feel there's a lot of corruption going on. So what he did was to bring that confidence that you can still invest in your country. It is a great country. We can be able to harness from it, grow institutions and ensure that we have a better country than we have now.
Yes.
So he did a lot of work there. Yes.
Naliga watanga mbole Mheshimiwa from where he sits na SG. Na according does Rigathi Gachagua read from the same script with Mheshimiwa Dr. Fred Matiang'i currently?
He does. How can he not read from the same script that you told me that they followed each other to America? Those are people, and when they were in the US, they met. They are consulting regularly. Like I said, these are principles with mutual respect. You have seen them campaign together. I have worked with many politicians, but I have not worked with this level of kind of respect that I have seen.
Yes.
When our last rally we did was in Western.
Yes.
You meet in Western, they sit, they consult together. They are one team, and they are called United Opposition. Because one thing we are very sure of, the government of the day, And that's why we must ensure that the opposition is united. There is some fear that is growing now. Oh, chiba election ingo chachire. Na already mondako lika just this evening. Oh, DCP nechebe candidate. I wanted to give you a rude shock. That the opposition is so well coordinated that you will see some regions, only the entire of the united opposition will only be campaigning for one candidate for certain position. Under one party? Under one party. The parties are many. Let's say, for example, in Nyamira. Yes. Nyamaya Ward. Nyamaya Ward. Yes. The candidate who will be supported by the united opposition will be in UPA. Just take it to the bank. And the rest of the candidates, all the other principals will come to support that one candidate who will be in Nyamaya. That's an example. You go to Nyansiongo, the same. You go to a by-election that will happen somewhere in Central. UPA will not field any candidate there. Will all of us go there to support a DCP candidate in that particular area? UPA will support the candidate. Yes, we will not put a candidate in that area. You go to, have you heard the UPA talking about, we are going to Western to put someone in that constituency where someone died? No, we're not in a hurry. Because you're not going to feed a candidate there. It's expected that DAP will be fielding a candidate in that particular area. Is the united opposition in 2027? Why not? Because we want to take over government. If you want to take over government, you must be united. The simple fact, no more yes to abeta. Onye mota geta tosi kumunege saku is being united. That's the secret. You don't need money. You don't need anything. You don't need to be united. Ekero mosikema tinga jete gusiga yo. Aba gusiba kamorokia ubu anchani. It was a statement that was shown. That's when Fred became strong. Yengu kwanu alenge ngora patinjire mwasoga tene chinamba chini chionse. Mugacha street kuruge chauro mugacha mugasoka mukorokia abantu. Pake thruta alenga ngori ya kumwangieke. That is what gave Fred the power that he has. Power belongs to the people. Abantu kera bari maga yawo liro mugambi. Toko mura yoto wati bantu maga yawo. So whatever you showed that day, that unity, nere agrete Fred yakaba what he is now. And we want to say the only way we can continue like that is being united. The moment talk about divided. And you know, the enemy wants us to be divided. We must refuse to be divided. We must not accept at any one point to be divided. People of Kisii must love Gachagua the same way they love Matiang'i. They must be able to love Kalonzo Musyoka the way they love Matiang'i. When we go to campaign the same way, so that the whole Kenya now comes together as a united nation, and we produce a candidate who is Fred Okengo Matiang'i, who is going to face Mheshimiwa Ruto. And I know, if kama kuna kitu Mheshimiwa Ruto watena go face Matiang'i, I say kwenye ole nchera, ara beta be candidate, he will do it. Yamono sana amabona alega igabira mana sana karondo chinga chetu chikomyo kanalega watangu Mheshimiwa nakwa na igoro ya united opposition nabo igoro yugo field Matiang'i presidential candidate. Lakini ndeti tuwe about numbers moboli do we have numbers chogo chikobase negotiation table? We have numbers, we have the strategy, and we have what it takes, and we have the candidate. Number one, we have the best candidate, a candidate that is acceptable across. The biggest numbers we have is Gen Zs. Let me give you an example. You know, I think most people internalize there are statements that were said. We need to reflect and see what they were. Abana abanga ulibajita mandamano. Eba teretenga ekere tu enge school. Matiang'i enge mna tata. Yani Matiang'i did not behave like as a minister for education. He behaved like a parent. He was strict and yet very caring. Because Matiang'i is the person who came to and said, if you get an A, get the correct A. And all of us agree, even the doctors who came out during Matiang'i's time, you can trust them to operate you. Because we had gotten to a place whereby you will buy a grade. It was so easy for you to walk into a school, shule and organize na watu examinations, they just organize and get good grades. So long as shule ipiwe makofi, itimekuwa number one. And Matiang'i said, no, we cannot continue like this. How are we going to continue like this when we have a student who getting an A, being admitted into a law school, being admitted into a medical school, and they do not have the correct grade? And they said, yes, you are my children. I want all of you to get an A, but to get your correct grade. And that met the Gen Z when they were going to Mandamana and said, there was someone who did not behave like a minister, but behaved like a parent. And this person is Fred Okengo Matiang'i. And we want him to come back. We don't want a father who is going to pamper us and just give us everything that we want. I want a bicycle, you buy. I want a sweet, you buy. No. We want a father who is coming to tell you, yes, I love you, my daughter. Yes, I love you, my son. But this is not the correct time for you to make your hair the kinky style. This is not the right time for you to have pins on your nose. This is the time for you to go to school. And so they said, let's have this parent come so we can have our country moving forward. So we have a candidate who is acceptable. Therefore, gives us numbers. Naturally, because you're not talking about now about tribe, we are talking about a generation. This generation of Gen Zs and the millennial like me, we are supporting Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Then when we come to his conduct and the way he has presented himself and his experience, he always says he knows government like the back of his arm. And I want to agree with him. At some point, when the current president was a deputy president then, he complained a lot and said all the duties have been given to Matiang'i. And I think they were preparing him to be president one day. So at that time, he even sat in cabinets and led cabinets. And at that time, he was able to learn and know how government is coordinated. And his biggest strength is coordination of national government. And I'm very sure when he gets an opportunity, he will be able to perform. So only those two things I've told you, you will be able to see that you have a candidate you can be able to fight for and becomes a presidential candidate. He's acceptable across. We're not talking about the tribe matrix, talking about the agencies and the whole country.
Kimano sana Jeremiah Mayako gutakuboli. Can we believe Kalonzo na Tembea and Wamunyoro, I think it means Gashawa, in supporting Matiang'i? I think you already answered that, but you didn't talk about Natembea and Kalonzo.
Let's talk. I said Natembea is in our, like I said, I hope you need to understand, united opposition is candidates who are principals and wish to become president. I don't think Natembea wants to become president now. He might become a president, but in the future. Natembea is behind Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Natembea is part of the formation of Matiang'i. It's like when you talk about Senator Metu. He's not vying for presidency. When you talk about the former Attorney General, the DP party leader, he's not running to become president, but he's supporting Gashawa. So on our side, Natembea is one of our key factors on our side proposing Honorable Matiang'i. And therefore what we are saying is, how can you not trust your teammates? The people who are playing in this team are Natembea. When we come to Mheshimiwa Kalonzo, Kalonzo is a principal, just like Matiang'i is, just like Gashawa is. So they start mutual respect for each of these principles. Wherever they will sit, they will provide that leadership and agree. Because they understand that if you go alone, you cannot win. They need to be united. They came up with this word called united opposition. And I am very sure there's mutual respect. And these are the people who know that they need to save this country. When you want to save a country, you don't look at your personal interest. You look at the bigger picture, which is the nation as a whole. Yes.
Nemono sana leo tanga mboli mheshimiwa take ya Igor Kimura wensa kwani take about him being the best and the most learned president Kenya has ever had. Na kwani take by the State House, Igor. What's your take on that?
That is his opinion. And you see, you cannot deny him an opinion. That's why we are saying in our constitution, there is freedom of expression and association. The president, in his own wisdom, has evaluated and seen is the most learned. But even if you put him with Dr. William Ruto, we have Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i. And he is a doctor of botany, and we have a very competent ICT and literature. He's a very good, by the way, Matiang'i did literature and all these things. So in terms of learning, leadership is different from just going to class. And sometimes leadership comes from God. And I feel that when God appoints someone, for you to be a president, you don't need to be a doctor. You don't have to hold a PhD. You only need to have a degree. All these people here who are competing to become president, all of them have degrees. And that's enough. If Kenyans wanted someone who holds a PhD, we would have said in our constitution that for you to run for president, you need to have a PhD. And therefore disqualify other people. But currently as it is, the minimum qualification for you to vie as a president is just to have a degree. And therefore, any Kenyan who currently holds a degree is qualified to become president so long as you're above 35 years also. So there was a cap at that time. I don't know if that's been removed because you need to open space for even the youth to run for that seat. But therefore, that is his personal opinion. I don't want to judge him, but I want to say from where I sit, Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i is the most learned and competent person who, if he's given an opportunity to make a contribution to Kenya, he will be able to steer the country to the next level.
Chelsea Manuso Mikai Joel, please ask Honorable Secretary General, when will they be having party elections? Because I'm interested.
Like I said, we are putting up structures, and you see a few changes in the party. Honestly speaking, you saw people of DAP disagreeing on how the party is formed in terms of structure, maybe we have one side of the community dominating, also in our party, you'll be able to see those changes. And I need to speak briefly about Ekiameke, Korokona Kobeki Mugusimono. Much more some few changes to look like a national party, but currently in our composition, it's actually a national party, but some people are not vocal. But like I've said, we have people from across the country, but we'll do more to bring people on board. Number two, I don't think I answered it properly. This is the question about what are we doing in terms of branding and bring out the image. I think you have had so many people.
Because they are also asking about whether they can register.
Yes. So I think you have had people talking about Safisha Kenya. That Safisha Kenya is a slogan of UPA. So when you hear about Safisha Kenya, that's the slogan of UPA. It used to be Kasi ya Haki. It has been changed from Kasi ya Haki to Safisha Kenya. Our logo was a boda boda, a piki piki. Previously, it has now changed to a soap, sabuni. So ukisikia Safisha Kenya, ukisikia Matiang'i Safisha Kenya, those things are things that are in the UPA current structure. So there have been changes in the party. There is rebranding. Our logo has changed. The colors have changed. And also the slogan has changed. And even the ethos and what we believe in has been aligned with the presidential candidate so that they can be able to capture the mood of the country. So there's a lot of changes that have been done. And once this will be unveiled, you will actually appreciate the fact that we have people have sat down, the expertise led by Professor Namwamba, who is actually having is a professor of critical thinking, Professor Namwamba, who sits at the apex of UPA in terms of resource coordination and an expert. Worked with Dr. Fred Matiang'i for long, and they have had a lot to think about. Imagine having someone who has done PhD of critical thinking. Because you know, next. Those are the people who have worked on the documents of UPA. And so namonya koranga tole igabo sa igara kini bintu bikolere bire binge moje mubirole na ndengu iratoro bugambi mwa so tora waswas. Yes.
Abantu bale ochikoboli by election muna nyansiongo na nyamaye because I understand IBC is in place. Is there anything that they are supposed to do ama wanasimama?
Yes, number one, to become a member of UPA, you press *509#, you register through your phone. *509#, it will tell you the next steps. You put a pin, you get off and start again. You follow the process, you put your ID number, it will register you. Within 2 minutes, you'll be a member of UPA. If you want to vie, you want to be nominated in the party, you want to participate in the branch elections, you have to be a life member of UPA. At the party, you can walk to our offices, you can make a call. It is we have a website, you can check there, you can register online, and you'll be able to be assisted. So if you want to be a candidate in this party, you are welcome. You just visit our office in Nairobi. We have 2 offices currently. We had one in town center, another one in Tome Estate. And you go to our website, you will get the details there. So you can register as an ordinary member by dialing *509#. And if you want to be a life member after you become an ordinary member, you upgrade. You pay a little fees, and then you'll be given a certificate for being a life member. Then now you can run for any election you want, even if you want to be a branch official and all those.
Yamano sano yakoro ku Samuel Miyungo agate aba hayeta tiyo from Masige West Ria Miyungo. Will Honorable Bagaka give me a ticket to run MC Masige? Nikimshinda mchucho.
That's a good question, by the way. In my capacity as a Secretary General, I do not show bias. There will be nominations. There will be other things we call, there will be somewhere we do opinion polls. If that friend of mine he seems to be the most preferred candidate by the people, why not get a ticket? I don't give a ticket, by the way, as an individual. I need to make that one very clear. And I have people who fear, Bagaka will not. No, I don't give a ticket. There is a whole election board in the party that works on your nominations. So my being there, it does not stop you from being a candidate. You are free to join the party. There will be a process to be followed. Once they have done opinion polls or they have done nominations, there is nothing I have to do as a person. So I'm not the one who gives tickets. I only sit in a secretariat that has professional people who work on this document. Yes.
Do you have spaces for youth in your party, and who do you consider a youth?
We have the best space for the youth. If you go to our Nairobi office, and I will be showcasing this very soon, we have a whole office set aside for the youth wing. We have a whole office set up for the Friends of Matiang'i. We have a whole room set up for the Women League. And we have a charter for the youth. Currently, we are working, there's a lady called Frida.
Yes.
Frida is the president for Catholic University.
Yes.
You go, we have another lady called Nyanchera, comes actually from my ward.
Yes.
And she's the vice president for TUK.
Yes.
That's Technical University of Kenya.
Yes.
And so many other leaders in the universities to be able to accommodate these comrades. We have a comrades chapter there. And for you to qualify to be a youth, you have to be above 18 years, but below that 5 years. And you can join, so long as you are a member of UPA, you have a space, you have people who listen to you, and you have an opportunity to work for the party and even get a nomination if you are a good worker. Because what we have done is to open spaces. And no, people don't know that you can put your effort, not necessarily through giving money. You can put your effort. Currently, the open space, what we call the online space, is working very well. And as a youth, you can say, I do not have money, I do not have anything, but I'm very good in online. I can be able to make a contribution in ensuring that everyone who lives in Kenya, in Northeastern, can be able to know Fred Matiang'i. You come up with ideas. Most of the things we do, are built through ideas. We create ideas, we think outside the narratives and all those things.
Yes.
And so if you have a skill, you have something you can be able to contribute to make the party stronger, to make our candidates sell out there, you are welcome.
Yamono sana chinga kisheto chikomya karagina leo bataba abantu mbale bakora idea sekia makia UPA abo igase Matiang'i ekero bakwenda aseme kutana including abarayi bacholire kurwa aba MCA bakanona ababunge. What is the word from mori kyomanene bwekia mekya na mano chinga kiche babikoro bashaka bata support Matiang'i babubererie ebintu ebindi because abantu mbanje te Matiang'i ba concentrate on
accountability. I am also an elected leader. When I go to my ward, na bango ti abantu support Matiang'i, but I will tell them I will tell them the hospitals were built. I will remind them nga tuagachire nyabisia dispensary. I will remind them to arosti mosora. I will tell them to arostiri ri yabo nyagitali.
Yes.
I will tell them chipara to arostiri. That is my duty. Remember kare wacho to morai, he has to be accountable. And our party leader, our presidential candidate has been very clear and said, do not just elect me, but also hold me to account. I am no mwaki kura. Umurai ocholire na apati responsibility. Of course, in talk about deny them the chance to prepare our candidate. Because in total tekera kiota bekene, tekero monto. Au ni Matiang'i njira yae. Technology na to gutumeka boni nyumba timasu mwanya rolere ebintu biro gwacha kikora squeeze kale paka ekombe ke to gutumia bano chike ngaki ekebwaterege ya current wa fix kunga DIY, do it yourself. So that technology ya rukuru China mono na America whereby kale ekirwa korere egentu na nemesa ekiro kole mesa okole mesa kwa chagaiga ebundi yaro simne ngani kwa nyerenta patia mesa yege saba chagite ko import na cross squeeze ekunga do it yourself craft.
Yes.
Craft eminatinga ba cross ibintu bigucha bya unganisho no mwana makara unganishe nyomba koreki atumeke. So we want to say let everyone do it their style. If I'm elected, you will hold me to account, but do not deny me an opportunity yoko ni mheshimiwa Matiang'i. Because kama tuwezi kutoka kumukwana iga na ribera ligo so ekero mugusi ta chanyole ntubwate masa mujire isiko gaiga.
Yes.
Chite doja koyocha chira abantu baito tutabe tia pakongwa soko ni mheshimiwa Matiang'i tutagenda tukunya konyoria abantu baito byo botwale kirogeke okonyanga abantu bakoreki bebira okonyora abantu ngwara abantu bajaga nende ko empowerment.
Yes.
Umuntu agocha gaiga okwachi siringi 64 ogotenga bone tete ko kana serikali umuntu ebanga serikali atuchandire bono. We want to be very careful ntu ankana ntu asa ntu muna abantu to kolegas tunyorenga abantu baro. And I want to ask my colleague, my good friend, but most people don't know that Mheshimiwa Japhet Nyakundi is a very close friend of mine, even before he was elected. We share a lot of bakebi, but he said recently he is not aware whether Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i is running for president. Yesterday I was in my ward in a place called Getare. Children, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, but I go one mataja go na Matiang'i. Yani mna amanya go to gani squeeze mbaki watabanda dina mami. Eba unjoka baja wataba Matiang'i. Umwana mokemno yana role 1 year and 8 months.
Lakini mheshimiwa kero goteba igo because abara imbaroro na kubuli kurugusi no na bagocha in form of empowerment na bara kurugusi nto aruna Japhet Nyakundi mheshimiwa Silvana Sosoro rawate ambara se serikali bona iga, and that is what they are supporting. And you are saying according to, is that what they are supposed to say kurugusiga?
You know, this is a democratic country. In a democratic country, you are allowed to subscribe to anywhere where you want to subscribe. But we cannot deny to tell the truth in Tumuna community to make a decision. aye muna oyo moito kwando wacha kule Maasai lakini bona intumune familia ngima tuanjenge totete kora chiombe turajitema ebi asare bibi ngako gusmeke mesi na bera harara ngambo betole patibone familia ngima yakoreki ya itebire boyo intumune community pakemba alinge seruto pakemba alinge siraira patibone community yonjo kire atebire isto ekire bone igo moni tokoreki otenenire one of course intinde ko moto negwense magoso but the truth is that ekere community ya make decision na bana megatiga abange na komba subati kro munta ko tanga matiangi tole bono nayo mungaino tokira ko mungaino raki at what time otakire kwa kama ngite bwangonjoke etaraba too late currently they are in government, they are serving government, they have a right to do, but then they do not have a right or disrespect to Mheshimiwa Matiang'i. You can have a right to be in UDA, but you don't have a right umano minno kumachecheli. Usibona you don't have that right. No what right yoko bagali, but what right yoko checheli umano minno gai. Yes, that's simple. As a community we made a decision. Enchira toko tara ko chimotuga iga, nenchira ya Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Simple as that.
Memono sana libolira mwali yo tarachi ko kwaninga nayo yo mwali. Narege okuboli, when are you launching youth wing chapter? Was a charter in Kisii County and the rest of the country. I think mangana youth, but
the charters are available.
Yes.
Everything has been done on paper.
Yes.
Once we open the offices, the next thing is to build these structures: the women wing, the youth wing, and the comrades. Like I've said, already we are working with so many architects. Together. Some professors from the university, people of goodwill. Ideas, and very soon. We'll be able to launch. I've said Mheshimiwa Fred Okengo Matiang'i is expected in the country this weekend. Once he's back, we'll go back and craft the best method how we can be able to move around and ensure that ntunyala kwa toko taramu muna ekisaku na boigo mune country ngima. And I'm very positive. Enjira toge andrete.
Yes.
Mbuyatore.
As he comes back, whatever by weekend was next week, is he still going back to Nabalenge, meet the people to Ama? Is going to make any official address from where you sit?
No. He will come. We'll start moving around together as united opposition. And like we have always said, sometimes candidates might move different directions so they can get to map. The country is so big. We have 47 counties. So you can find today Mheshimiwa Matiang'i is in Meru, Mheshimiwa Gachagua is somewhere in Coast, Mheshimiwa Kalonzo is somewhere in Machakos. So they will move both as individual camps and sometimes as united opposition. But from where we sit, what we want is, we want to open up. We want to go to Nairobi and talk to our people in Nairobi. We want to go to Kajiado. We want to go around the country. And people are yearning to see Mheshimiwa Fred Okengo Matiang'i and support him. There is one statement that was made by some youth in Kakamega when we visited. And the youth said, for Fred Okengo Matiang'i, you do not have to give up his money. What you need to do, you put your photo, a portrait, on the part of the paper and they will vote. That one touched me a lot because it's rare. Even me as an MC, I have to sometimes ensure that I talk to my people nicely. But for him, they said, we don't want you to give us anything. Just put your portrait there. We'll vote for you because we believe in you. And most of the times, they feel we have been voting politicians. Now we want a leader. You can agree with me that Fred is not a politician. He has not even known how to conduct himself as a politician because he's not one. He's a leader. And I think Kenyans are in a level where they're saying, we have voted enough politicians. Can we try a leader, a manager, to come and manage the country? So we can have politicians around him. We can have the deputy president who is a politician. We can have a cabinet secretary, the chief cabinet secretary who is a politician. But let us have a manager at the top. And that quality comes from Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i. And I think that's why he has been able to attract a lot of support, both within the country and from outside.
Thank you so much Mheshimiwa Singe nchoni mati wa busy ngana yo mali gochia saba Kenya bonsi bali bakuligereti maragoba ya lero anene mone gure kiama KUPA na boigo eganga ya Matiang'i nereri.
As the Secretary General for UPA, I want to say that we have an opportunity to bring our country together, have faith in it and have hope and fix the problem that we have. And Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i can be seen as that kind of hope that we have been looking for. He had an opportunity to work in different departments. He coordinated national government department, almost all of them, and he has the experience. He has walked this journey for 10 years. He served in different departments. And whichever department he was given an opportunity to serve, you can see what he did. And I can just highlight, even the color of the bus you saw, there is something people have forgotten. For a long, long time, we used to have a lot of accidents for our learners. Wherever we had buses that you could not be able to identify which one belongs to schools and which one belongs to the general public. Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i said we must be able to paint all our buses. However expensive it was, the decision was very unpopular at that time. But today, you can be able to identify that as a school bus. And they are fitted with the speed cameras and everything. And you can agree with me, for the last 5, 6, 7 years, since Mheshimiwa was Minister for Education, there has been reduced cases of accidents for our learners. And that's something you cannot be able to remember, but I've remembered it. Then you look at what we call acceptance, what you can be able to get as a result. Students, teachers were fighting to be number one. Everyone wanted the school to be announced as number one. But then we said, it does not matter whether you're number one or one. Let's bring a system that can be able to look at what talent does a child have, that looks at the competence of a person and what you can be able to deliver. And these are some of the things that he was able to handle. He is very charismatic and he works very hard. It is rare to find a waziri who wakes up at 3 a.m. and goes to open containers to ensure that children get the grade that they are supposed to be getting. And that's why whenever I'm asked a question, if I need to think between who and who to vote, and I say, at that level, I don't think. I know who I want to vote, and his name is Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i. And I want to ask the rest of Kenyans to join us in supporting this candidate. We do not need money from him. We don't need him to come and give us money or do anything. All we need is that we want him to be at the ballot, and we'll be able to support him so that he cannot go there to make money. Let him go there to work for us. And I know, well, if he's given an opportunity, we'll make a greater contribution and bring confidence to the government. Yes.
Yamono sana Mheshimiwa Singi Nchoko nyale chingi kusangamo na intwe no Mheshimiwa Barongo Bagaka ero twalingi gufocus sana sikiama kia UPA kia romolikio monene na bwigo nyara kwa ukwana tumie munu bwe Kenya muliro nige Swahili monegere munyara kwa moko iwa because igaro moliki ama ye ni the Secretary General for UPA party, which is unveiling a candidate for the presidential seat 2027 uyore Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i chinga kichinde karotara monyole ni matenari busy yakira kininto moligia kwandra ya Masige nabo igo ai county assembly ya Kisii yakora bado no mokonyi wo monogaliare nabo igo no mo MC ocholire n'abantu ba Masige West kolenderero nyara kobaga koerera sinchero yobwange kigima emeroberio ye kiama nabo igeganga ya Dr. Fred Matiang'i ne timu ngima ya United Opposition abawiti kunyara kobako gendramo no kubolia bakenya kubasira sobo cholyo bonene bolibosio kwani aba yabalimo tanya rakabo mokonyole nkwani yasi enchera yoboime wechikunyara rakabo konyora sensemelie mitandao ya ya Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Etaya TV nyara kobako kwenyolera mabolionsi halia mwaganiti kumanya kurwa asomolikio manene bwekiama kia UPA anemono hekio akoligelio borai bwensi ya Kenya Daktari Fred Okengo Matiang'i kwani aba timu ngima tonyara kobato kubwatera nanko bakiranga mbiemono Evalino Sero ni stand by uchigo kumanya mangana maye chinsainye asinchira ere eyobo ikeranu chini wankoro kwa Eric Bosire tuwa kwa kiringambi ya mana asingi nchogo sanga na into
Etaya TV Oborabu Wagusi Notagitea satoereru Ryugirita iyo elikwenyo rendagira yomubere Ingi ya kegima ego tununtera Kegima Upono Canvas Grill Lounge Nigo ya chiriliwa kwa bokoreri bwendagira Unabono Mbabwate kukuchoma Nyama choma Kienyeji Foods unabono enderema Riso